Instantly the crow turned into an eel, for this was the Morrigan, the goddess, the war goddess who could change into all shapes. And she started to trip Cuchulain up, and even though she was fighting the Queen's champion himself, he still managed to fight him off, and he managed to pick up a spear and spear the eel. The eel jumped out of the water and instantly then turned into a she-wolf. The wolf started to run towards him, but even though Cuchulain was fighting the Queen's champion, he started to cut and parry. Even though he did that, he managed to pick up a stone and he took out the eye of the she-wolf. Ooh! And then the she-wolf transformed this time into a red heifer and started to run and rampage through the clear field towards the ford, towards Cuchulain. It was getting nearer and nearer, and Cuchulain was fighting the Queen's champion himself, still ducking and diving, but still he managed to pick up a catapult, fire a stone from the catapult and take out the leg of the red heifer, and off it went, transformed again into a crow and disappeared. But still he was fighting the Queen's champion. His skin was like stone, and no matter how hard he tried to fight him, he could not get him down, until finally he lifted his barbed spear, the gay bog. He moved it towards him, threw it towards the warrior. It hit the warrior and whoosh, down the warrior went and was no more. Maeve couldn't believe it. And then army after army was sent against him, warrior after warrior, but Cuchulain still fought. He never grew tired. And then on the third day, he started to finally grow weary. He started to gradually just feel so very, very tired. It was even more tiring than making bowls and making fire all day on a course such as this. He was so weary, so tired. And as he slowly started to slump, a light he saw in the distance. His father had appeared. Cuchulain of the She-Mounds, those of great magic of the old tribe of the Two-Headed Danann. I'll hold the ford. You go and rest. And Lou did just that. And of course he was one of the magical fee folk. He had no trouble holding the ford, just as Cuchulain didn't. But then, after a few days, the boy troop, the people that had trained with Cuchulain, realised that he had done such amazing heroic deeds, and they wanted a part of that. So they came running down the hill to fight Maeve's army. Cuchulain decided to go, for he did not want to be seen, for he was a man of mystery. And so the boy troop, the young men, started to fight, started to cut and parry, but before long Maeve's army cut them down. And when Cuchulain arrived and saw all of his friends, all of his companions, reduced to nothing, he was furious, he was enraged. This time he went into a berserker fit. He turned in his own skin. Fire seemed to blaze from his hair and his eyes and his mouth, and over the ford he went, and hundreds of men, just at the mere look of Cuchulain, backed off. He moved towards them. He fought with such ferocity. It wasn't long before almost the whole of the army was disrupted, was disturbed, but they still fought. And finally Cuchulain was overwhelmed. There were too many. But then, just as Cuchulain was about to be knocked down, trampled, destroyed, a horn blew out. A horn that was clear, a horn that was piercing. And just as Cuchulain was to fall, the army, the curse had been broken, and the army, all of the Red Branch, started to run down the hill, locked, shield to shield, order shield, with leather coverings, pressing against Maeve's army, fighting her back, getting rid of her. For the guy, Cuchulain, who had held the ford, the youthful warrior, clad in honour, sword at the ready, fearless, bold, Cuchulain the hound, holding the ford, challenging an army, bright steel forged for one purpose, to protect the king. His brown ball of Cooley, symbol of his power, symbol of peace, fertile land, abundance giving, strength of man. For cattle equal, fertile land, abundance giving, strength of man. For cattle equal, fertile land, abundance giving, strength of man. And so the army came down, shield to shield, locked to each side. And Dara MacFigna, he was in the front row. And as he walked through, as he pushed Maeve's army back, he remembered the lilting, trance-like voice, the vision, the voice inside his head from the crow in the canopy of his tree. Protector of cattle, take up the challenge, go forth with a shield. And he realised that that's exactly what he was doing. And that is the end of this story. But of course Maeve did not retreat. Maeve came back with other thoughts and ideas in order to crush concubine Agnesa's long reign. But that is another story for another time.